Hello YouTube, this is Davmar1079 bringing you another World of Warship video, and today we shall be taking a look at the Battleship Scharnhorst, or Battlecruiser, depending on which version that you hear from what bit of history, but all in counts, it's a battleship. And also today I will be joined with my friend Driven, who you've seen in other videos and heard. Say hello.
Hello.
Yes. I had recently got Scharnhorst since of this little update, which I agree with some of the other people that do this video recording for World of Warships. She is a good deal. I highly recommend getting her if you have the doubloons. It's probably the best deal you're going to ever get on her. And let's just take an overview look of this beautiful ship. And of course, like always, when we're into the battles, I shall give the history that I know of, that I got from my book, which I'm going to be blunt. By the time it will be out, it will probably be close to midnight, but I'm recording this my time 10:45 at night. There we go. And since this has a sister ship and my friend Driven has it, he will be playing with Scharnhorst's sister ship, because historically these two ships never went out alone. They always had one another pretty much until the very end.
That's pretty cool.
So pretty much, like always, we shall start off in AI, even though yes, you do see I do have an upgrade, I do have some ship experience. I couldn't help myself. I did get one good game in where I got over 4,000 credits with this ship.
Let's say Scharnhorst is Gneisenau's sister, right?
Yes, they are sister ships. Pretty much this. The main difference that you'll see between Scharnhorst and Gneisenau, Scharnhorst still has her 11-inch guns equipped, whereas Gneisenau has her 15-inch guns equipped, which Scharnhorst was supposed to get in a later update. Pretty much kind of like how the North Carolina class battleships were supposed to be armed with 14-inch guns, but when an escalator clause in the Washington Naval Treaty happened, the barbette, which the gun goes into, was the same diameter of the 16-inch gun turret, so they just dropped in the triple 16s instead of the quad 14s. Which I'll touch on Gneisenau a little bit, but pretty much these are ships that were based off of the the Deutschland class heavy cruisers, I guess, of the German Reichsmarine, not the Kriegsmarine. But these are part of the Kriegsmarine, they're part of the Nazi party. These are just pretty much enlarged versions of those, and since they lost the knowledge of 15-inch guns from the First World War to then, these were just upgraded with modified 11-inch guns, which these ships did see a lot of early combat. These pretty much were commerce raiders at the most. They were probably, I'm guessing, a little bit better off than maybe Bismarck.
Yeah, Bismarck didn't do so well.
But still, great ships. Like I said, these ships never went out alone by themselves, but they did also go into harbor a lot together. These ships were pretty much prone to accidents. I think their first naval engagement was they went against a supply ship that was armed with a couple 5-inch guns. Against 11-inch guns, and these ships are probably armored to 15-inch. You just take a guess how that battle went.
Wait, they used these ships to attack a darn.
Their first enemy ship, yes, was against a cargo ship, I guess, that was modified for defense, I guess, against U-boats that might have been surfaced or the other little patrol boats. That ship just happened to meet Scharnhorst and Gneisenau before any of those.
That would have been fun to see.
Yes. And these ships were originally, how you see they have a right bow upwards. They originally had a flat bow, kind of like the King George. But since they got wet in the North Atlantic, they got the Atlantic bow, both the Scharnhorst and Gneisenau. Which these ships both were against the Anglo-German naval agreement between Germany and Great Britain to allow them to get battleships too, and these ships was the Deutschland class, then the French built the Dunkirk class, and then the Germans once again had to build something bigger than the Dunkirk class, which were the Scharnhorst class. And Great Britain was not terrified at any of these ships whatsoever. Just they're like, oh, let them build these ships with little silly pop guns. They're nothing to us. They would have been singing probably a different tune if they had what Gneisenau has in her 3 twin turrets, which these ships did, like I said, ran into problems. They've ran into mines, they've ran into other ships, I believe, where they even to the point when, I guess, Bismarck went out and she was sunk. These 2 ships were stuck in Norway, and they were trying to get back home so they can get upgraded new supplies and their 15-inch guns, finally. Pretty much that wasn't going to happen, and there was only a couple of routes. The route that Bismarck took, which are probably now being heavily looked at now for these ships, and I think another way would be pretty much was what they did eventually, which was the Channel Dash, where they were right in between that of France and Great Britain. Pretty much they thought, if we do it quick enough, they won't be able to get a response out in time, and they will not be able to meet us. Where they had a rare instance where the German Luftwaffe and the Navy were working together to get these ships home, and it worked. The British were caught off guard. They never did it, but of course, fate struck. Scharnhorst was damaged slightly by an underwater sea mine. Gneisenau was a lot more damaged. They pretty much said, instead of fixing her bow, they just completely cut it off, decided to replace it, and while she's in port, give her 15-inch guns. Which the real Gneisenau never got that work, sadly. She stayed in harbor. I think her bow was replaced, but her 15-inch guns, no. Her aft 11-inch gun is actually still in Norway to this day. And I think I heard somewhere the last time shit was ever fired in a training was, I believe, 2001 or 2012. One of those times was the last time Gneisenau's aft 11-inch gun was ever shot in testing. But I think later Gneisenau was just sunk in harbor as a blocker ship. Eventually rose and scrapped. Scharnhorst has a little bit more history. I will go more into that when we're in standard. But pretty much, out of the 2, Scharnhorst had a longer career than Gneisenau. She was the first one out, and she was the last one to be sunk. But pretty much, like I said, they were both Scharnhorst and Gneisenau shared the same armaments, secondary guns, torpedo tubes. Pretty much, it's just main batteries they don't share. I think Gneisenau might have slightly better secondary guns.
Are you serious? That missed? What the heck?
Yeah, they have like destroyer-based primary armaments, whereas Scharnhorst has single mounts. At cost, but we'll make it up in standard. guess this is almost a 2-for-1 video if you've made it thus far. Pretty much the history of both ships, technically in one. But if you would
Yeah.
like a full video on Gneisenau, leave the comments down below and I will do a video solely on her. But I will leave a link down in the description below for a bit more encompassing history around Scharnhorst, so you can see a lot more in detail than I can off the top of my head, and also just playing in the dark so I don't wake no one up. So sadly, I have a book here. There's also a lot of pages with these ships in and out, which I believe one of these two were out. One thing I forgot, but I just now remembered. These ships did come into contact with a battlecruiser Renown, I think. And since these had 11-inch guns, and that one had 3 15-inch guns, well, 3 turret, 15-inch twin mount. Let me refer to 3 turrets with 2 15 guns each in them, so they ran away. Pretty much as I was saying about the history of Gneisenau, pretty much is done there. She's bombed, they sink her just as a blockade ship, and eventually she's raised and scrapped after the war. Scharnhorst, on the other hand, went down like a true warship. Since Gneisenau was indisposed of, Scharnhorst had to go out alone. And she, I believe, ran into, I think it was Duke of York, the King George V class battleship. 15-inch guns, or 14-inch guns she had, so she outgunned her more barrels and heavier shells, where Scharnhorst only had her 11-inch guns. She could not do significant damage enough. Yes, she had armor to be able to go and take a little bit more punishment, but it didn't really help in the end. Scharnhorst was eventually sunk in battle. She stood her ground, though, to the very end, and from the British commander said, "If you ever find yourself commanding a ship, I hope you command it as valiantly as the crew of Scharnhorst." Which, that to me is top praise. If a British commanding officer is praising a German crew for outstanding perseverance,
Like a
pretty
hard
much.
fought battle type thing.
Yep. To where the German ship went down with honor and pride. That to me shows that battle must have been one hell of a battle for a British commanding officer to give praise to the enemy.
Oh, they don't cause flooding. And it causes flooding.
Torpedoes, direct front. The ship is on fire. Fighter returning to ship. Enemy. Much obliged.
No, this ain't good.
Dead ahead. Good luck, everyone.
No!
Torpedoes, dead ahead. Good luck, everyone.
Nope, Scharnhorst went down alone without her sister ships, and I guess it held true in this battle. It's just, let's see if I can turn the tides of history. Oh yeah, and I do apologize, I will show everything about her after this battle.
Be careful on the left side. The left side, there's quite a bit.
on fire.
Like he hit an island, so he had to.
Torpedoes to port.
Oi!
You.
Okay, so in
Yeah, I
this.
try to tell you back up, but you are in some heap
Yeah.
of a field.
Direct front.
And I was just about to launch torpedo tubes, so. Yep. Like always, seeing our ship destroyed in these videos, we shall watch her go down to the bottom. Granted, this is
Whole
not one of
enemy
the.
team was on this side.
Yes,
My
yeah,
bad.
it's alright. Granted, not one of my better battles with Scharnhorst. I have had better. But that was just the whole enemy team. She's a good ship, yes. Like, but in the real version of her, don't mean diddly squat with those 11-inch guns. At that rate, I could probably do a lot more damage to the cruisers than I could the battleships. The battleships, I had to torpedo them. That's just pretty much how it would have had to go on. That off just in case.
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
But as we watch her sink, my thoughts still are she is a good ship. Pretty much, I haven't had a good paying battle like that when I got the 400,000 until I got Nelson. So the Nelson is a perfectly good ship to have. I have seen the Lenin ships, so they're probably just as good. And if you have the opportunity to buy Scharnhorst, highly recommended. She is a fantastic ship. Pretty much this. You could do like how I'm doing with my friend Driven here, to where if what your one friend has the one and they have the other, you can pretty much have the two sister ships together, just kind of like other ships like Nevada, Oklahoma, Massachusetts, Alabama, Iowa, Missouri, pretty much all of those ships. King George V and Duke of York, just to name. Texas and New York and Texas, just pretty much just name a few. This game is getting better and better with having sister ships in there, to where if it's your favorite class and you want to convince your friend, they can get the one, and then maybe eventually they will get a premium version. Granted, going from Gneisenau to Scharnhorst in gun caliber is a little bit of a downgrade, but still, you can have really good games with her, and then you can not really. But while the battle goes off, sadly I probably won't be able to show you the armor layout. But I can show you everything else. Her stats and everything. Her armor, sadly not. Decent enough armor. Everything about her, which you can pause there. Turn that off! Driven!
Oh, my bad, my bad. Yep. I thought I was on mute, my bad.
No. But since I can't show you the armor of Scharnhorst, the closest thing to do is Gneisenau, which I don't think really that would be the best, but still. Sadly, don't be able to finish it off the video with seeing her there, but pretty much see they're in spirit. So I want to thank y'all for watching. Please like and subscribe and hit that bell to notify you anytime that I post a video or go live, and please leave a comment down below and tell me, well, like I've said probably 100 times by now, what is your favorite premium ship? And also then, now that I think of it, this is a new question, What ships do you have that you love to play with your friend if they have the sister ship in the game? Let me know that one. And also let me know if you got Scharnhorst this update. And if you did, how do you like her? Me, like I said, love it. Do you have any thoughts or words driven? Guess not.
Not really. I don't really have Scharnhorst, so I can't really give my opinion on her.
Well, on her sister ship, what do you think since you do have Gneisenau?
I do like her. She's a very good ship. If you're good, if you're good at commanding the ship. But yeah, she's not bad.
So there. If you don't have the potential to get Scharnhorst, get Gneisenau. Yeah, you won't have her sister ship, but at least with Gneisenau, you do come with a heavier hitting gun.
True.
But again, on that note, I will hope you all have a great rest of your day, or in my case, night, and I shall catch y'all in the next one. See ya.
Bye.